Hey there. Hello, hello. It's Kylie here on a very warm summer's afternoon. It feels like summer. I think it nearly is. And you know what? There has been such a theme running through my life at the moment. I think when those things happen, you have to listen to it. You have to think that there's some kind of message in it for you. So I've just been having coffee with a friend, and one of the big things that really struck me was when people don't live their life on their terms, and they usually don't do it because they're trying to be nice or be good or not rock the boat or all of those kind of things, and it just, I don't know, it's kind of sad. So this friend, there was a couple of things. First of all, he recently got himself a motorbike, and then he got rid of it because he was worried about offending the neighbours because it was a really loud motorbike. And that motorbike for him represented a lot. It sort of represented freedom, and it represented, and it was freedom, and I guess it was him being able to fulfill a lifelong dream. I don't know, it's probably one of those things that most boys at some point dream about, owning their own Harley. It was a Harley. So it was really noisy, and so he had it for a few months, and then he got rid of it because he was worried about upsetting neighbours. And I get it, but it was sad because I think when you start curtailing your life like that, I mean, the way I figured it is he could have found some workarounds, and then he could have sort of been able to have his cake and eat it too. When you're not living life on your terms, then you're living a half life. Now, how does this relate? How does this relate to writing? Well, this is how I have seen it, that when you are not living life on your terms and kind of being authentic to yourself and really honoring what your deeper needs are, then what you're doing is living life on someone else's terms, and that puts you in such a disconnected position that it's very hard to tune in to the inner muse. And I'm really a big fan of channeling that inner muse, that the creative part of you, which is where your best writing comes from. So although I'm not saying that you couldn't by rote or by formulaic or kind of by following a template or just by pure brute force, create something or make something come out of you, but that's a very different experience to when you're living in alignment with being true to yourself, honoring your own needs, and also living in such a way that you're in tune with those needs. Now, when you do that, this is my belief, and a little bit my experience, and as I said, why is this coming in? There's been like 3 people in the last 3 days that have come into my peripheral that have been very much in this situation. So I always think when I'm getting those repeated messages that there must be something in this for me. So I'm going to have to think on that. Okay. You can see my bookshelf is like waving in the wind. Did you think this was a real bookshelf? It's not a real bookshelf. I do have real bookshelves, but they're all low and way messier than this one. This one's like really neat and flat. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. So, the other example was some beautiful woman that I've known for a long time, and she said that if her life was different to what it was now, that she would probably go to university. This is if like everything was different and she wasn't married and she wasn't a grandmother she'd go to university and study something. And look, I guess the point was, I felt, well, why can't you do that? And the point, she felt unable to. Her life is this way, and that's the path she's chosen. But if outside circumstances weren't there, she'd be doing something different. I don't know. To me, it felt a little bit sad. And I know there's compromises in life, and I know we always have to make choices. I totally get that. But I think that if you want to be an author, the biggest thing is to be totally authentic to your own true self, to your inner muse, and that will allow that writing to come out of you. It's kind of like the trick or the hack of being able to connect with your inner creativity by honoring it. When you honor something, and honoring it might just mean listening to it, it might just mean paying it attention. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to change your complete life and do something sort of totally out of the way, but it does mean that you have to tune into it to know what your inner muse needs. And when you have that connection, your creativity is unlocked, and the ability to get the words out of your head or the thoughts into a coherent form that you're going to then write down is so much easier. So that is really my big tip for being able to unlock your creative muse, is to honor yourself, honor your inner needs, be authentic to what you truly desire. And that doesn't have to be as difficult as you may think. I really believe there's always a way around it. If you truly want something, you truly think that this is the path my life has to go on, then honor that and take that, even if it does mean, inconvenience someone else, inconveniencing yourself. It's more important to be authentic and true to that inner desire than it is to kind of please everyone and keep an even keel and keep everyone happy, just so as not to make trouble. So, I guess what I'm saying is, be a rebel. It will make you a better writer. That's the sum up of what I'm saying here. Go out there and make trouble, because it will make you a better writer. Now, is that true or not? I don't know, but I certainly know that when you are living a half-life, when you're compromising every aspect of yourself, that is going to affect the way, or even if you're able to write, let alone become a published author, which is where you sort of have to take it into a much more disciplined fashion. So if you've got anything to say about that, I would love to hear it, because I think that, this is one of those things where we so often compromise to keep other people happy. And if you knew that those compromises were affecting your creativity and your ability to write, and potentially your ability to become an author, if you knew that, would you still do it? Because I think a lot of people do it not knowing that that's the result, that is the actual effect, by compromising and by not being authentic and not being true to themselves and not listening to what they know they need for their mental and emotional health. They're actually sabotaging their inner muse. So have you ever thought of that? Is that something that's ever crossed your mind? As I said, these people have been coming into my life the last few days. So I'm gonna do a little bit of journaling, a little bit of meditating on that, and try and work out, what is the message for me? Am I not living my authentic life? Am I, because otherwise, why are these people coming into me with this message? Maybe it's just that they need to hear from me, because I feel that I'm pretty authentic, and that I honor those processes, but there's always room for improvement, and I'm by no means perfect. I think there's always places where you can be more true to yourself and more authentic. But those two examples, and there was a third one that I wrote a blog about, which you can see on the webpage, which was all about people just trying to be nice and fit in and not make trouble. And unfortunately, what they were doing was completely sabotaging their inner creativity. So don't do that. Don't do that. It's just not good for you, and it's not good for if you want to become an author. that will kill it. That will kill it, or it will turn you into the sort of author that you don't enjoy being, because to write a book that's where you're not being totally authentic is really hard work. It's like pushing shit uphill. It really is a total effort. Whereas when you slip into flow, there is no effort involved in it. It's very natural. You don't have to question what comes next because you're in that space. So one of the things that I teach or support my clients when I'm coaching is how to get into that space of flow, how to actually connect with your inner muse so that you do create from that space of flow. So at the moment I am offering coaching packages which are at a really good discounted rate, because I have some spaces and I would really love to support you, especially if this is the kind of thing that you are struggling with, or it's something that you've wondered. The particular thing that we've spoken about today, I think this is a place that a lot of author coaches don't go. So they might talk about some of the practical nuts and bolts, and by all means I can do that, how to format your book, how to get it up onto Amazon or CreateSpace or Kindle or what size, all that stuff. But what I bring to the table is that ability to not only use the, marketing techniques to make sure your book sells, but also do it from a place that's completely authentic, so that the work that you end up with is something that truly represents you, something that you're proud to stand next to, and know that when this does come out into the world, the people that it connects with are going to be moved and changed and benefited in ways that you probably cannot even imagine. But at the very least, you'll know that the message that you were bringing to it was completely authentic, and that comes from being able to work from that place of authenticity. So as a coach, I kind of talk about some of the things that we have just spoken about now in this live stream, but I obviously connect them much more specifically to you. So if you are interested in getting some good quality one-on-one time with me, for the next little while, it's about a week, I'll probably be leaving this open until all the spaces have gone. I'm offering coaching packages, and this is where you can buy 5 sessions with me. You have up to 12 months to use them, because I'm suggesting if you're thinking about it, it might be good to lock it in at this price, because it's 2017 price, which in 2018 it will go up, but also it's even reduced from what 2017 standard prices are. So it is a really good deal. If you're interested, all you need to do is PM me, and I will email you all the ins and outs and the details and how it works. But basically it is 5 sessions where we spend good quality, deep one-on-one time, really going over whatever particular issue you want. Now I find with most people, if they're right in the flow of it, it's really good to have regular sessions every couple of weeks. That even every week sometimes. It depends how fast you're working, but I do find that when you are having a coaching session every week, it really puts a firecracker up your ass. It really makes you work, because you know that your next session is going to be coming up in a few days, so you want to achieve a certain amount by then. So if you're the sort of person that likes that level of accountability, and you think that will help move you from where you are now to where you want to be, where you want to get to, then I would love to connect with you and be your author coach, be your book coach, help you get that book out of your heart and into the world, help you, show others what it is that you have to offer. Because let me tell you, there is no greater feeling than having a published book that people are enjoying, benefiting from. It really is... It's wonderful when you realize that you've connected with total strangers from all over the world about these particular things that, obviously you're passionate about. So if you're interested, it is on for the next little while, and I would love to connect with you. So I hope that this is something you'll consider. As I said, The reduced price and the spaces will only be around for about the next week or so, and then it'll go back to normal, or actually there may not be any spaces left. But yeah, just send me a message or comment below or whatever, and you know, we can talk further about it. Okay, now just remember, the world needs your story. So right now, bye.